guys, we're going to go down to the beach today. It's a little place called Lilley's Beach, isn't too far from where I live. We've had a few storms recently and a bit of rain hanging around, so I haven't been able to do much for a little bit, so it'd be nice to get out. It looks nice and sunny. Before I did it, I just wanted to give you a couple of tips and tricks while we're doing it. A lot of people are a bit scared when they go down the beach. First time I was. Didn't know exactly what I was doing, wanted to give it a go, so thought it'd help you out if I gave you my experiences on what you need and what you should do, what gear you need, what you don't really need, and a few other things. So as we're going along, on the way here, I'll fill you in. First thing you should do is see if you need a permit, because a lot of beaches in Queensland now, you've got to have a permit to actually drive on them. This one does. It's if you go onto the council website, or you just Google the name of the beach and add permit to its name, you will find whether it needs one or not, and then you can click on that link and it'll come up with the pricing. Now, Lilley's Beach is pretty cheap. It's $10 for a week or $50 for a year. It's close to me, so I bought the year. $50. I go down there more than enough to use that. But others are far more expensive. Rainbow Beach is, I think, $300 or something like that for a year. They're all quite expensive. But it's cheaper than getting fined, because you get fined, it's very expensive. So you don't want to do that. The other thing you got to remember on the beaches is they've got road rules, the same as what you have on the normal asphalt or bitumen. You've got them on the beach as well. So give way. You know, speed limits, find out what the speed limit is on the beach. There'll be different phrases, a lot higher. I think it's around 80, whereas Lilley's 50. So make sure you stick to your speed limits. The police will be down there at some point. You will get caught and you will be fined, and it's not worth it. And if people do the wrong thing too many times, they'll end up closing the beaches, and you don't want that. I love going to the beach. Saves me carrying the esky down there when I can take the car. Now, the other thing is keep the place nice and clean when you do go down. There's another reason a lot of places are getting closed off. People are throwing rubbish everywhere, so keep it tidy. Take one bag in, bring 2 bags back if there's people who are pigs and leave rubbish there. Now, gear you need is you need a tyre deflator. You should always have one, and a compressor. So you can let your tyres down with the tyre deflator, and you can bring them back up when you're done with the compressor. They're about the only things you really need, okay? As long as you're careful, you air down, drive on the beach sensibly, air back up before you go back on the bitumen, you should be right. But there's a few extra things you need probably just to be on safety sides, and that would be a snatch strap in case you do get bogged and someone's there. There'll always be someone that'll help. Everyone who drives on the beach will get stuck in the same situation at some point. So you see someone stuck, offer them a hand, pass that good karma on. Maybe one day you'll get stuck and someone will give you a hand. Max Tracks or equivalent, doesn't have to be Max Tracks. I have Max Tracks just because I like them, they're quality. I've had the others before and they last, they're fine, but Max Tracks last longer. But treads are fine. All the others, I can't remember which ones they are, but there's so many out there now. But better to have some than none. Doesn't matter if they're a little bit cheaper, they'll still work exactly the same. Just they won't last as long over a period. A shovel, in case you really do sink down to your chassis, you can dig yourself out. You can also use your treads or Max Tracks as a shovel if you need to. They're pretty good in a bit of a bind. They're not as comfortable as a shovel, but they'll get you out. And that's pretty much it. Some beaches you'll need a beach flag. So that'll depend. I don't need one here, but that'll depend on where you are. Make sure you Google. If you've never been to the beach before, go to your local tackle shop, go to the servo that's close there, go to the information centre if you're not too sure if you've got neither of the others, and ask the local for advice on it, because I'll let you know what the beach conditions are like. All beaches are different. Some beaches you'll drive high tide mark, other beaches are better at low tide mark. Some beaches the entrances are terrible. Some beaches the entrances are fine, and it's not until you get halfway down the beach they'll get a real soft spot where there's a bit of underground water flowing through. So go ask a local for advice if you've never been there before. It's the safest way to save you any trouble, because you don't want to get bogged at low tide with tide coming in and trying to rush and lose your precious rig. Let people know if you're going down there, just in case something goes wrong. You might not always get phone reception, so let a mate, let family, let somebody know if you're going down the beach, just in case. Should do it any camping trip or anywhere you go really where you can't get phone reception, and even sometimes if you do, some things can go wrong. Another good tip to remember is always air down when you go to the beach. There's a lot of yahoos out there that don't. They know the beach pretty good and they can go in with their tyres at street pressure. Don't do that, it just chews it up, makes it awkward for everyone else. I usually go down when I go to the beach, depending on which beach I go to, you'll get a feel for it after a while. I'll air down to about 18 to 15 psi. Usually it's a good round number. You can always go lower than that if the beach is a bit soft, but you don't necessarily need to be higher than that unless you've got a lot of weight on your car. If you've got a lot of weight, you can go probably sit a little bit higher at 20. But make sure you air back up before you come back to the bitumen. Otherwise you'll really wear out your tyres real quick. If you haven't got any of this, you can still go to the beach. About the only thing I would really recommend that you have is a tyre deflator. All right, number one, tyre deflator. If your local beach is pretty close to your local servo, go to the beach, let your tyres down, slowly drive back up to your servo when you're finished and you air them back up. Don't let anything stop you from going out and enjoying this beautiful country, all right? There's too many friends I've had and too many people I've known that have gone, oh, I can't go out. They've got an old Pajero, or they've got an old Nissan, or they've just got an older car, and they see all these people with their $100,000 four-wheel drives have got everything you could imagine under the sun hanging off it, and they're too scared to go out and do it. Don't. You can go out in anything, all right? If you got a four-wheel drive, take a four-wheel driving. You don't need to have anything special on it. You just need to go out and enjoy it. I'll lay it down, I'll show you that as I'm going, and then we're going to hit the beach. So thanks for watching, guys. Guys, another thing about coming to the beach, stay off the dunes, alright? This is where turtles come and nest. And then you get people who just come roaring up here with their four-wheel drives. And not a care in the world, run over turtle nests and everything else. It's also illegal to drive up on the dunes. So don't do it. Look at this track all the way through. There's been numerous cases here of turtle nests being destroyed by idiots doing this. And this is how we get our beaches closed. Just don't do it, alright? Ride the horsey?
I do, but I'm allowed to.
Allowed to ride the horsey?